Part 42. Exploring the World, starting from the discovery of the White Bone Dragon Pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 411. A terrifying energy tide has set off between heaven and earth. Although from a classification point of view, these are thousands of different energy fluctuations. However, in Yeshi's view, these are actually just two forces with different fundamental origins fighting against each other. One is the abyss and the other is heaven. White light like a waterfall rumbled down, and a lifeless old man climbed up from the abyss using his hands and feet. He let out a long sigh, then opened his mouth to an infinite size, swallowing all the attacks directed at him. I haven't felt so full in a long time. His tone was very pleasant, and his face showed a toothless mouth. There was no tongue in his mouth, only an abyss that seemed to never see the bottom. This is a terrifying existence. However, there are not a few such terrifying existences on the battlefield. Many monsters that clearly look like they are about to die of old age slowly climbed out from the abyss, using their hands and feet. A powerful aura erupted from the dying wood's body. Certainly. The same is true here in New Heaven. Many powerful people who had not appeared in the ferry boat took action one after another as the battlefield became more intense. One of them has the blue sky behind him, and wherever he goes, he is overwhelmed by everything. There are other immortals who have a halo of light behind their head, and endless waves are emitted from the halo. She didn't even move her hands, but she didn't know how many lives died just like that. Fortunately, the scale of the universe is vast enough. Otherwise, if we exist according to these conditions, we may not be able to persist for long. Brilliant light burst out from the center of the heaven. Thousands of auspicious colors fell down at the same time. Some of the magnificent rays of light lit up, and the fairy life was flowing beside it. Green dragon, vermilion bird, black tortoise, white tiger. There are many strange phenomena of these mythical beasts, surrounding the heavenly palace, and there are real phoenixes and real dragons swimming around. All the purple energy is reflected here at the same time, and the entire area is dyed purple, and the vastness is unknown. Thousands of miles. The infinite energy tide directly overturned all the enemies around it, which was almost crushing. The divine light swept through everything, killing all enemies. A vacuum zone was emptied directly around the new heaven. Yeshi almost thought that this supreme being had succeeded. Unfortunately, this is not good news for new heaven. Even the immortals who were fighting against the abyss were a little distracted. They stopped their attacks, turned around and headed towards the new talent in the end of the heavenly palace. They seemed to know something, realize something. Soon, the reason why they did this appeared in front of Yeshi. Because after this violent energy fluctuation, the divine light emanating from this supreme being swept away everything, and the aura all over her body suddenly dropped. More than that, even the newly established heaven began to fall apart, as if the ice and snow were about to melt. The scene was not big at all, even very quiet, but it made many people feel chilled to the core, as if they had witnessed something extremely terrifying. Why is this heaven collapsing faster than it was built? Did you fail to ascend to the throne of Heavenly Emperor? Yeshi's first sentence to himself was heard in the live broadcast room, but the second sentence was spoken in his own heart, and he followed it faster. You can't wait to become the Emperor of Heaven, so even if you are powerful, you still don't get the ending you want. This wave, the art of speaking belongs to it. How outrageous, I feel like this is about to be sent. Why did it collapse so quickly? It's over, it seems like Abyss is going to win. I always thought Abyss was the villain. Although, it seems that Abyss is indeed the villain. Anonymous, haha, that's not necessarily true. Only people like you who know nothing would dare to say such things. Yeshi felt his body and the surrounding environment. I found that this incarnation of myself would not die for the time being, and I was relieved a lot. I even moved forward slightly and started to eat more. Pangolin, How do you think the situation in front of you will continue to develop? Pangolin is now very happy that he didn't think that Yeshi was plotting against him. Instead, he changed his body according to the other party's opinions. This place is really not a place where a monster like it can come, it is really too scary. Therefore, after hearing Yeshi's question, the pangolin subconsciously shook his head like a rattle. This is already its classic move after meeting Yeshi. It's just that it hasn't discovered it yet, but the majority of netizens have already discovered it. Happy, this pangolin god of wealth looks quite timid. I will fight with you if I want to, of course I like fighting. Aren't you timid in a place like this? Then you are simply a god. I wish you can become an immortal soon and take care of your brothers in the future. Who would be scared? You said something about me when I first arrived. If I were there, I would be like a crab walking sideways with 8 legs. I have to be as arrogant as possible, so that I won't be so scared even through the network cable like you. It's okay to lie to your brothers, but it's best not to lie to yourself. See if your tears fall. Brother, you are new here, you will know after you read more. Yeshi knew there was no hope as soon as he took one look at the pangolin's bear-like appearance. But he didn't expect it in the first place. Then, unfortunately, after thinking for a long time, I still haven't figured out which great god this person who plans to establish a heaven corresponds to. Tongzi, what do you think? Ding, below the heavenly lord, female body, host, you should be able to guess, it is the grandmother of all the Qi, take Xuan Yuji Yuanjing Ziran Jushan Shangxian Yuking Shen Mu. Yeshi? Is it this goddess? That is indeed extraordinary, but many people know it now. So, why do you think I know this? I am not a Taoist priest, it is normal that I can't recognize all the ancestors. After all, I am in the abyss and it is like going back to my hometown. It seems that I have a lot of problems. Yeshi was talking to the system, and suddenly felt something was wrong, so he pushed his consciousness to. He silently recited this goddess several times in his heart. This Taoist name was originally just to guess what kind of person this supreme being was. As a result, in an instant, a gaze from billions of miles away looked at him and locked him. And all this was just because Yeshi thought so. Almost a 10 millionth of a second after the gaze fell, he was horrified to find that she had heard him reciting her Dao name in his heart just now. Is this telepathy? Yeshi tried hard to calm down, but in the end he still couldn't calm down and thought about these questions carefully. My body is not the original body, but just a pile of biological minerals. My consciousness is not a complete consciousness, but only a small part of it. So, it is impossible that even my original body is here, and the thoughts and ideas in my original body can be seen. Or, it is only because I recited the other party's Dao name that she can sense that I am reciting her Dao name. After the shock, Yeshi's reason quickly returned to its place. And he immediately thought of this possibility. And this possibility is also the biggest possibility. That should be it. Who knows? At this time, an ethereal voice sounded from his heart. Of course not, I can indeed hear the voice in your heart. So, are you interested in listening? This sentence has not been finished yet. Swoosh. After hearing it, Yeshi dodged behind him, and even ignored the pangolin next to him. When the other party's voice sounded, the first thing that came to Yeshi's mind was Tongzi's matter. But after thinking about it, even if the system was discovered by the other party, it would be nothing. But his consciousness that stayed here, but immediately returned to his body in the next moment. But before leaving, Yeshi kindly reminded the pangolin, thinking that according to the other party's good luck, he should be able to come back soon. Yeshi returned to his body. And the inestimable clone was left there by him. You can get there quickly. In that case, I won't be polite. This ethereal voice still echoed in Yeshi's clone. The next second, This clone made of biological composite ore and the pangolin clone next to it were swept away by a beam of light. What happened to Wok? Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Pian Hai. Chapter 412. It's over, this time it's really a crow's mouth. Let me just say that I have always thought that Lao Ye has some attributes of a crow's mouth. Now he is really caught. You know, I have a very strange idea. Although Lao Ye seems to be pregnant, I am not worried. I am not worried at all. Qinli Buliaxing, don't talk about you. I'm not worried at all. I don't think this will have any impact on Lao Ye at all. Why do you think this is? Do you even need to ask? It's not obvious. Brother Ye has made plans long ago, but he just doesn't know why he left in such a hurry. Obviously nothing happened. It's another thing that I don't know about, right? Anonymous, ask less about things in heaven, and listen more. Some of you will be unlucky. Seeing the beak of the good news bird is unlucky. I think you know too many things. You should pay more attention when watching this live broadcast room. Save me for knowing some secrets. No one dares to trouble the anchor, so they will trouble you. It's Valentine's Day today. Does anyone want to spend Valentine's Day with me? CPDD. Announcement bird, go away. How many times have I told you, I am the Annunciation bird. For you people, I must draw a circle, put your names in one by one, and then curse. Unnamed, you know how to repay kindness with revenge. Didn't I tell you everything? The problem with your bad mouth is that you have changed from a good news bird to a crow's mouth. You have no idea about it. Yeshi. He just looked at these people, not caring about his life or death at all. After disappearing, not only did he not ask anxiously, but he started quarreling in the live broadcast room. This is really unbearable. But since they don't care about themselves, Yeshi didn't intend to care about them anymore. He also asked Tongzi to open a panoramic view for himself, and then started watching the live broadcast. However, he did not cut to the live broadcast room from this perspective. The situation just now was too urgent. Fortunately, I reacted quickly, but this kind of ability is really too terrifying. Call. Yeshi breathed a long sigh of relief and looked around. He knows that he is now in his own memory, and the memory is in the ontology, and the ontology is in the world in the memory. This is a place where there is no way to find a bug. However, because of watching the new heavenly battle against the abyss, Yeshi finally felt anxious about his own power. I'm afraid I won't be able to explore more places in the future. It's okay, she should just be able to hear my clone's mental activities. Yeshi compared the gap between himself and the Supreme Being. Although he was still a little scared in his heart, he knew that if the main body was there, he would never fall into such a passive scene. But his mental power is too buggy. Come to think of it, I haven't practiced any magic power. This is indeed an oversight on my part. Yeshi moved an energy fairy pool under the Kunlun sacred tree, and then soaked his body in the fairy pool. While practicing, he saw what the new heaven and the abyss had been transformed into. Rumble. The universe is cracking layer by layer. It spread to the outside at an unimaginable speed, and many evil abyss lives filled with demonic energy crawled out from it. These lives devoured everything in the universe, even those empty cosmic spaces. The immortal boat had been damaged a lot, and many immortals died completely on the battlefield. The live broadcast footage is sometimes chaotic and blurry. A certain amount of ambiguity is sealed, otherwise it would be detected by these powers. These great powers can travel between different dimensions. Originally within high dimensions. Heaven, the abyss, everything is answered with a stone, it's miserable, neither side gives in. But now, these high-dimensional battles have come within this universe. The damage caused was so great that even the avenue was wiped out. From the center of the universe to the edge of the universe, the higher dimensions began to collapse towards the lower latitudes. The extinction of this creature cannot be described by the simple word extinction. Sometimes I would frown when I looked at Yeshi, in disbelief. After a war of this level is fought, there is still a chance that ordinary life will survive there. It will simply be a massacre of the entire universe. If the last time heaven fell, the fight was even more fierce than now, how did these descendants survive? Pangolin, what do you think? The pangolin's head shakes like a rattle. Yezi, this is just the beginning. Before heaven fell, it was the 10 earths and 10 destructions. I heard that at that time, blood rained from the sky every day, and the same was true in the entire heaven. The heavenly palaces collapsed one by one, and the 6 paths of reincarnation were even worse. If a little bit is wiped out, that is not something we can participate in. Yezi, please don't say anything about being responsive next time. These words are a minefield for the entire heaven. As a result, heaven has been divided into 2 factions. The place you went to explore in the past may be dangerous, but it is related to these in terms of things, that's not even remotely comparable. Yeshi nodded and let the pangolin crawl out of his fairy pond. I know. I have seen the real Nantianman. At that time, there was a Xuanhuan sword inserted in the Nantianman. You must have never seen such a scene. I have seen it. The pangolin took out a fairy pond from his package and put it next to Yeshi's fairy pond. Suddenly hearing these words, my breathing almost stopped. Ikeo, have you seen the Xuanhuan sword? That sword of Lingbao Tianzun? Then how did you survive? It is said that the sword means that no living creature can appear in front of it, otherwise it will be killed. On the Nantianman, it seems that this matter is true. The Tianzuns are all divided. Then aren't we even more doomed? Yeshi nodded in agreement. Remove the word we. I didn't take a close look at the sword at that time. Later, after walking into Nantianman, I encountered a heavenly palace and picked up a lot of gadgets in that heavenly palace. Actually, I've always been curious about things in heaven. However, even though I kept investigating, I didn't have any clues about many things, and they were all disconnected. In this place with the Nantian Gate, I also saw the Eye of the North Sea and the Shengongbao suppressed inside. Of course, there was only one section. I thought a lot at the time, but I didn't understand what was under the fog shrouded in the abyss and heaven, including the galaxy where my home star is located, which is also extremely strange. I also went to the underworld, but I didn't get the answers to the questions I wanted. It's a pity. It seems that all records have been interrupted. What about you? Do you know what exactly happened? Yeshi's voice had always been neither soft nor serious, but to the other person's ears, it was as if the god of thunder was lying next to his ears and thundering all the time. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Pian Hai. Chapter 413. I'm super, Yezi. Do you have so much experience? Why did you go to the underworld? Is it possible to go to the underworld at this time? I heard that the underworld has no one to manage it a long time ago. Many evil spirits have begun to invade the human world. Is it really okay for you to go? Yeshi thought about the submerged Fengdu and nodded hesitantly. No big deal actually. Shengongbao, isn't this an existence related to the list of gods? Such an existence is still suppressed? No, he is no longer suppressed in the Eye of the North Sea. Before the heaven fell, he was already there in the universe. I heard he was rescued. Yeshi watched the live broadcast and paused. Rescued? Rescued by Lingbao Tianzun. The pangolin nodded and shook his head. Not sure, but the rumors from heaven are like this. You have been to so many places and seen so many heavenly ruins, but you don't even know these things. It seems that all the records have been destroyed. The pangolin sighed slightly. You know, Yezi, probably tens of thousands of years ago, a massacre broke out in the entire universe, in which all records related to the fall of heaven were erased, not only from the present world, but also from the past and the future. It has also been wiped out, and the entire timeline and space line have been blocked, so that even if there is great power in future generations, they will not be able to find the true history along the timeline. How scared are they? That they can do this? Yes, you know, what I know is all passed down from generation to generation by our pangolin family, but as for the cause of that incident, this is all I know, and I also know that I can't mention the words response to every request, but I don't know anything more. Now I can't even find the reason why the conflict between heaven and the abyss arises, why heaven wants to kill gods. I can't even find a real dragon. All the secrets have been hidden, and the truth cannot be found even by looking through time. It was the first time that Pangolin's tone was so confused. I know I have good luck, but I usually only use it for treasure hunting. If I were like you, I would have been stabbed 18 times in the back and committed suicide not long after. Yeshi. He worked hard to digest this knowledge. I also recalled why the pangolin chose to say these things here, because it felt that it was very safe here and would not be liquidated as soon as it came out like outside. And if you match these materials and information one by one with the things you know, it made Yeshi feel even more. The water in this universe is really too deep. He thought he could pass through the middle water area but not the deep water area, but looking at the current situation, it seemed like he was only in the shallow water area. Leaves, leaves, leaves. Just when Yeshi was lost in his own thoughts, Pangolin called Yeshi several times and asked him to take a look at the picture coming from the live broadcast room. It's like another fall from heaven. Countless buildings fell one after another, and the entire heaven continued to collapse. Yeshi came back to his senses and looked at what was happening now. He also saw his clone, which was trained by others and was killing everyone in the abyss. Just kill everyone. Still using Yeshi's face. This world has become dangerous again. Fortunately, I met you this time, so I have such a safe house. Otherwise, I would have to go to those bald men to beg for my life. What should I do? Now, another war between the abyss and heaven has completely started. Yeshi couldn't help but raise his head, passing through the layers of Kunlun's sacred tree, and looked at the branch above. There is a primordial egg right there. This world is too chaotic. Yeshi sorted out everything he knew now and felt a huge headache. As for his home planet, there should be no extinction. Not to mention anything else, just the many gods hidden inside and the existence of heaven are powerful enough. Not to mention the distant one, there is also a Taishan mansion lord nearby. Boundless flares exploded. A great sun rose from the center to destroy everything. A demonic ape crawled out of the abyss, holding a stick in his hand and hitting the sun hard. Those beings fighting in different dimensions occasionally showed some traces. Let Yeshi see the power of an egg. To this day, he still doesn't know whether the responsive egg in heaven has hatched, or what form it will take if it hatches. Magic weapons like light rain were smashed down as if they were desperate, and some terrifying beings went directly into the abyss to slaughter. There are no weak living creatures near the main battlefield. It should be said that even the very strong ones have fallen a lot. If Yeshi was still there now, he would be dead. Although the perspective in Yeshi's live broadcast room was very different from the full perspective of the live broadcast he watched, it also allowed the mortals in the world to see what real war is. Compared with this kind of war inside the planet, what they think, and even those interstellar wars, are just like farting, just playing house. 16 different worlds. Unexpectedly, a world has been blown apart. As for the other worlds, they are also in a hurry. They pack almost everything and want to come to the solar system or the small universe of Baidu. All this is really too terrifying. Even top-notch scientific and technological civilizations suffer heavy casualties. Civilization is like burning weeds. Once it is burned, a large area of civilization will die, and many will be injured. The original order in the sea of stars no longer exists. Only outside the solar system, there seems to be an invisible film that blocks everything outside. Many people say that this is the protective shield left by Yeshi to protect Blue Star. But who really understands what this is, remains silent. Heaven is really too terrifying, leaving behind countless backup tools, and this place in the solar system is undoubtedly one of the backups left behind by Heaven. Of course, the same can be said for Baidu. In his busy schedule, Yeshi took the time to take a look at the live broadcast room. Only then did he know that the solar system had a protective shield, so a voiceover sounded in the live broadcast room. That was not arranged by me. It has always existed. At least it has existed for tens of thousands of years before I was born. This thing is not just a simple protective shield, it works in both directions. As soon as he finished speaking, there was a loud noise. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Pian Hai. Chapter 414. Chapter 414 The Concept of Parallel Universe. When a loud sound sounded, Yeshi had forgotten what he had to explain to the group of netizens who were following his live broadcast. So the sky fell. The universe even began to collapse, and dimensions that many mortals could not see throughout their lives began to appear in front of everyone. Yeshi squinted his eyes for a while and saw a colorful light containing all colors appearing in front of him. This light seemed so out of place in the horrific scene of universe collapse, because his whole body was filled with a dreamy feeling. But at this time, Yeshi was no longer interested in heaven or abyss. He looked at the authority coming towards him and subconsciously took a deep breath. It's over, it's over, it's over. This is my dream power. With one click, Yeshi cut off all connections between the live broadcast room and his own place, and then knocked out some pangolins who didn't know what was going on. Then he quickly swam to the top of the Kunlun sacred tree and came down with a giant egg in his arms. It's all a series of simultaneous actions. Yeshi swallowed his saliva. While the dreamy authority was still rushing forward, he dodged and opened a door and went out. Rumble. The fireworks of heaven and earth begin to bloom. Terrifying energy tide sloping down from different dimensions, submerging everything. There is a dreamy bubble in it, and there is a yellow talisman on his body, with the breath of Buddhism flowing on it. Suddenly, many beings stretched out their hands to take the supreme dream authority in their hands. Although this has a lot to do with Buddhism, who cares? No one cares. No one paid attention to a passerby who appeared in a small corner of the battlefield. So when this dreamy power shifted from being hesitant to moving firmly in one direction, they didn't even react. They originally wanted to follow them and rush over. After all, this supreme authority is so moving. But soon, this thought disappeared with the wind. Because in the same direction, there is another aura that is very familiar to them. Although there is a slight difference in the fluctuations, there is no difference in essence. Too plain. The reputation of being able to respond to requests was so terrifying that it quickly stopped a series of people, not daring to go any further. Certainly. This is just a step of hesitation. When they realized that this aura was not Taisu, they naturally rushed over like greedy beasts. But what Yeshi wants is just that moment. When this dream power passes through his body and is directly taken over by the main body. The Teishu egg also pressed on the yellow talisman. The reason why Yeshi carried this Teishu egg with him was not just because he wanted to attract the attention of those people. I also want to separate my own cause and effect from this authority. There is no doubt that the Teishu egg is an invincible weapon that blocks cause and effect. Even the Buddhas of Buddhism have no way to further track Yeshi. He didn't want to go in and wade into the muddy water right now. So at the moment when the dream power appears, I did the following series of things. This was like completing everything in an instant, and then Yeshi cut off all connections between his world and the outside world. And just in case, he will hold the Teishu egg in his hand. Ah! Yeshi breathed a sigh of relief, but then he thought about why this authority came at this time. No matter its time or space, everything doesn't match up. Soon. Yeshi doesn't need to think anymore. Because this his dream power is just an appetizer. Countless spiritual lights fell like rain. Each ray of spiritual light contains an extremely extraordinary treasure that can be found in all realms. Seeing this scene, Yeshi felt. I'm afraid that the treasure house in heaven has been taken away. Regarding this matter, Yeshi knew it half-heartedly, so he woke up the pangolin that had been knocked unconscious in a hurry. Did you knock me out again? What are you taking this time? How many times have you told me, just tell me what you want? And how could you knock me out at such an important moment? Yeshi didn't know what to say. This is really a matter of urgency. What is here is not the true body. The true body is still hatching eggs on the Kunlun sacred tree. So he could only silently point to the live broadcast room. He pointed out the treasure aura that filled the sky to the pangolin. Oh my God! Who is this? I'm afraid it's stirring up a hornet's nest in heaven. Yeshi hugged Teishu egg, tore off the yellow talisman, and then stuck it on Teishu egg. Fortunately, this is within his world, otherwise there would be no way to tear it off. Despite this, it also wastes a lot of effort. After he obtained the dream power, he did not combine it with the other dream powers remaining in him. This thing. He won't take him out for the time being. Although it seems that all the problems have been solved now, what if? Steady, steady is better. Yeshi silently continued to hug the Teishu egg, letting the Teishu egg wipe out all aura and cause and effect. When someone wants to explore the timeline, they will be overwhelmed by the beginning. Yeshi felt that his method was really great. At the same time, there were still horrible fluctuations outside. But although it was horrible this time, many people's eyes began to shine, because those treasures and spiritual lights were so beautiful that they almost blinded others' eyes. Many people who were fighting to the death gradually forgot what they were fighting for, and rushed up all at once, gathering all the spiritual lights in their bodies. Even some bigwigs in Yeshi's live broadcast room couldn't do it. Said it in a flash. Although their anchor didn't even have a voiceover now, it couldn't stop them from being excited and not worried at all. And they also found a familiar figure in the live broadcast room. This familiar figure was a blue cat. Damn, it's that profiteer. Tomcat. Why doesn't anyone care about Old Ye? Where is Old Ye? Why is there only one live broadcast room? The original body is the live broadcast room. Yeshi fell asleep peacefully holding the Teishu egg, with a piece of yellow paper on it. The dream power next to him turned into colorful bubbles and wrapped him up. Huh. Yeshi's clone was still admiring the aura on the screen with the pangolin, calm and composed. What kind of existence is this? It's so powerful. It directly blew up the treasure house of the 33 Heavens Palace, right? The voice of Yeshi in the distance gradually grew louder and louder, and then it sounded in the live broadcast room at the same time as the voice of another pangolin. Yo, you are here. It's a fortune to see it, welcome, welcome. What are black and white impermanents? I haven't seen them for a long time. Fanwuju, busy, too many people died. White impermanence, very busy, too many people died. It's not a matter of death, it's a whole area of emptying. Living in this era is really unlucky. It's not a big problem. This disaster is not a natural disaster but a man-made disaster. The one who wants to establish the heavenly court must bear all the cause and effect. She must settle the cause and effect, and the simplest way to settle the cause and effect is to revive all the dead. In this way, the sins and cause and effect entangled with her will be reduced a lot. Although Yeshi's figure has not appeared yet, the sound of his chat with pangolin has not stopped. And because of his appearance, many divers have emerged from the water, no longer like frightened birds before. Yeshi glanced at the live broadcast room, pursed his lips, and didn't know what to say. This is indeed an unprovoked disaster. But if we just save them, what about the planets that have been bombed? The people are alive, but the mother planet is gone. Oh, this is really unlucky. The pangolin paused after hearing this. It looked at Yeshi, trying to determine whether Yeshi was pretending, but it couldn't tell. And some bigwigs in the live broadcast room were also silent for a moment, pretending not to hear this. The pangolin pulled Yeshi's sleeve. Don't you know about this? If you want to solve it, just overlap the parallel universes and choose the parallel universe that best fits this universe to overlap, then the problems you mentioned will not be problems. This was said very easily. Yeshi didn't react for a while, but he woke up with the body holding the teishu egg, and heard the ding-dong sound of the system in his ears. A secret of the universe reached Yeshi's ears. At the same time, the whole live broadcast room suddenly rang with a noise, which only lasted for a few seconds, but blocked everyone's ears. This was blocked by the system itself. Yeshi suddenly stood up. Ding, congratulations host, you have obtained a secret in the universe. This secret has been circulating in the heaven, the underworld, and the abyss, but no life anywhere else can know the secret. Only a small number of people who have learned the information due to various adventures know it, but after knowing it, they should keep it secret, otherwise the sky will cut it. Ding, there are countless dimensions in the world, and naturally there are countless parallel universes. Dimensions represent different worlds. These worlds have almost nothing to do with the world of this universe. The higher the dimensional world, the more it can overlook the lower dimension and interfere in any form, thus even creating a parallel universe of the lower dimensional world. In these countless dimensions, there will not be another you, but in countless parallel universes, there are countless you. All timelines and space lines are staggered, forming completely different developments, rivers, and lakes. Rumor has it that there must be a one in all parallel universes, but rumors are just rumors after all, and it is not true. The parallel universe and dimension we are using now are actually a term that is easier for life to understand. The so-called original universe does not actually exist at all. The so-called one derives all universes and dimensions is also a wrong explanation. The correct explanation is, one contains all dimensions and universes. The universe is an infinite concept. The universe actually contains all parallel universes and dimensions. The original one contains everything. Ding, host, this is a very difficult concept to understand. If you really can't understand it, continue to divide dimensions and parallel universes. And what this lucky beast described, covering this universe with another parallel universe, is also a common method used by high-dimensional life. When the parallel universe covers this universe, the system will open the official live broadcast channel for the host to live broadcast in accordance with the coverage. Please note that when the host recalls his last life, does he notice that his memory is slightly inconsistent with the current world? It is the so-called Mandela effect. This kind of collective memory error is precisely because the coverage of parallel universes may cause individuals to feel that they have experienced something before, or their own memory and the memory of the world may be incompatible. This phenomenon is precisely because of the coverage of parallel universes. Please note that this information must not be known to low-dimensional beings. Even if low-dimensional beings are informed, low-dimensional beings will think that these are just conjectures and will not think that this is fact. However, such information must not be disclosed. Please note that Wankai's grandmother Taixuan Jade Ji Yuan Jing Natural Nine Heaven Xuanhuan Goddess, that is, Taiyuan Mother, is about to enter the parallel world. Such a supreme and powerful person has the means to reciprocate. Please treat the host with caution in the future. This time, the system said a lot of shocking news. Yeshi, on the other hand, was holding the teishu egg from the branch of the Kunlun sacred tree, with a solemn expression on his face. The water in the universe is too deep. Yeshi remained quiet for a while, his face relaxed slightly, and he sighed like this. After Pangolin finished talking about parallel universes. The knife of gods will directly cut into its luck. Originally, this knife was going to cut off half of the luck, and it almost scared the pangolin to death. After all, it knew that Yeshi's ability to reach the dragon dimension must be extraordinary and belong to a high-dimensional life. That's why I dare to say it. Who knew something like this would happen? But fortunately, the knife of gods will really fell, and it was just a drop in the bucket. It was almost the same as Yeshiao's luck, so the pangolin breathed a sigh of relief. It scared me to death, it scared me to death, phew, I almost lost a pangolin. The pangolin queen was extremely scared, but she felt that what had just happened was a bit strange, and she couldn't figure it out even after thinking about it. In fact, it was because of the live broadcast. Fortunately, the system blocked all comments in time. Then at Yeshi's request, the pangolin will no longer appear in the live broadcast room and will not be connected. It's okay, this is my negligence. Yeshi's clone also felt sorry for this stupid and clear pangolin, and then led the topic to the parallel universe. You mean, covering the parallel universe on top of this universe can solve the disaster that happened here? But in this case, wouldn't it mean that another universe is sacrificed? Wouldn't the sin be deeper? The cause and effect involving the entire parallel universe is probably greater than all the current causes and effects combined, right? Yeshi blocked the live broadcast room again and asked about the pangolin. This one. The pangolin was about the same size as Yeshi, so it was looking straight at him. It looked into Yeshi's eyes and continued. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yu Pian Hai. Chapter 415. There are a lot of changes in the previous chapter. If you have read it, you can go back and read it. How could I know such an important thing? My luck is better, but I'm not worthy of knowing this level of secrets. Yeshi. He glanced at the pangolin, and finally looked at the chaotic universe over there. The water in this world is too deep. Originally, I thought I understood the world somewhat, but now it seems that I am still a bit too self-righteous, and I haven't even seen the most basic level. Since you know about parallel universes, have you ever seen two overlapping universes? The pangolin shook his head. I've never seen it, but I know that just tens of thousands of years ago, the universe overlapped once. As for the small-scale overlap, there are countless people. There are very few big guys who are capable of overlapping the entire universe, but the regions overlap. But there are many. Why are you asking this? Do you also want to try planet universe overlapping? Yzi, this matter is too deep and you can't control it. It's better to say goodbye. Yeshi, no, I just want to say that when the great power who established the heaven overlaps the parallel universes, we can go and take a look. The pangolin's expression was slightly confused. You mean, we're going to die? No, we're not going out, we're just watching here. As you know, I am an explorer, and my daily job is to live broadcast, so I have special live broadcast methods. We can take a look at that time. If it hadn't been for what you said, I might not have known about the overlapping of parallel universes. This is so interesting. If we did this, wouldn't the entire universe be in chaos? The pangolin's body collapsed. I don't know. Although I have many treasures, I don't know any of these deep secrets. If I don't have enough strength to know these secrets, I am seeking death. Curiosity will kill many people. The reason why I can survive today is because although I am curious, I never satisfy my curiosity. But Yezi, if you continue like this, you will not die. Something strange. Yes, she finally discovered it. After getting acquainted with this pangolin, all the previous speculations about its individuality were false. This pangolin actually has a very good character, is able to seek good luck and avoid evil, and is very sensible. He just talks very openly and says whatever he wants, no matter whether he should say it or not. He is very sensible and has no eyesight. After chatting for a long time, he really wants to beat him up. It's not a big problem, I can live for so long by satisfying my curiosity every day. Of course, it's because I'm very stable and won't do anything I'm not sure about. Don't worry, you can just go to the underworld if you can't. The pangolin lay on the ground, leaning against the tree behind it, and began to chew on a sugar cane that exuded spiritual energy. Kaka. I didn't see that it was very stable. Even the dragon dimension broke into it out of curiosity. Alas, then it dragged me to the cosmic battlefield. Now I plan to see the overlap of parallel worlds. How do you think you are a stable person? Your misunderstanding of yourself is deeper than my misunderstanding of myself. Yeshi frowned, feeling that this pangolin was not simple. Ding, it's so right. When Yeshi heard the sound from the system, he was extremely speechless. What was going on here, so he unilaterally disconnected from the system. Maybe we haven't known each other for too long, so you have so many misunderstandings about me. I'm going to start the live broadcast here now. Please be careful and don't say anything you shouldn't say. After Yeshi finished speaking, Ju connected the live broadcast room again. The audience friends who had not seen Yeshi for a long time gave Yeshi a warm welcome after they met again after breaking off contact for the second time. Brother, look there is a blue cat. Brother, why don't you go grab some treasures, I'm so greedy to see them. The solar system can't get out now, I don't know why it's like a set of air walls. What should I do, what should I do, what should I do, what happened to the solar system? I knew nothing would happen to Yeshen, but what kind of place is this, why is there still sugar cane to eat? After seeing the live broadcast room open, the pangolin stood up and threw the sugar cane in his hand to the ground, pretending to be upright and serious to the extreme. Yeezy, don't forget the book you planned to write for me. It patted Yeshi's elbow as a reminder, and then looked at the camera in the live broadcast room with a smile, showing a perfect photogenic expression. Hello everyone, I haven't seen you for a long time. You are still so lively. The pangolin blinked his eyes and said the following words awkwardly and politely. I have goosebumps. This should be a normal anchor, but when I see a normal anchor, I feel something is wrong and want to run away. I must have been tricked by Lao Ye, so I can no longer see normal people. Correction, normal pangolin. There is still chaos over there, but occasionally there are flashes of spiritual light that cause bursts of fighting. But those who are fighting for it are not the top powerful ones. I don't know why in the face of such a rare treasure light, those who are not powerful are allowed to fight for it. Except for some people who were dazzled by wealth, Tomcat, none of the powerful officials moved. Yeshi pushed the pangolin aside, then frowned at the barrage that could not leave the solar system. Can't we go out of the solar system? Yes, and brother you said before that you didn't say anything about what happened in the solar system, such as the protective shield or something that had been there for a long time. You were disconnected before you finished talking. It is this protective shield that prevents us from entering and exiting. Why is there this? Why was there no problem getting in and out before, brother? Why can you get in and out? I remember, there was a rumor saying that it was impossible to get out of the solar system. This news seemed to come from the official people on the Moon and Mars. I always thought this news was false and could not be true yet. Is it possible that Lao Ye's live broadcasts are all stickers, or game and movie scenes? Kicking the door frame, sometimes, I really wonder where your brains have grown, even if you say such things. Yeshi's frown quickly relaxed. He had indeed felt the shadow hanging over the solar system for a long time, but this shadow was insignificant to him, and it did no harm to the entire solar system, so he did not explore it. But now it seems. This protective shield is not as simple as he imagined. In other words, it's not like that. The previous protective cover was indeed very simple. The unknown energy shield currently covering the solar system has been deliberately upgraded. Yashi's eyes flashed with a glimmer, and after asking the system, he quickly confirmed this. Indeed. Someone is secretly controlling. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Hai. Chapter 416. The previous solar system could be entered and exited. The protective shield I mentioned also protected the entire solar system. If you observe it from an extremely distant place, you will find that the light of the entire solar system is condensed. I used to guess that this kind of protective shield was because of the entrance to the abyss in the sun. Now it seems that it's not just that. The solar system is far more special than I imagined. Actually, it can already be seen from the underworld and the real dragon. But I didn't expect that the current solar system is not allowed to enter or exit directly. Wait a minute, let me cut the scene and see what exactly happened. Yashi opened 3 live broadcast lenses at the same time, comparing different pictures respectively. And when the lens of the solar system appears, Yashi paused slightly, and the pangolin on the side, who was not used to the live broadcast and thought he was embarrassed, looked at Yashi in horror. This can't really come out. This is a transformation from reality to reality. The current solar system is between existence and non-existence, so it is in the state that it cannot come out. Call. It's also strange. It seems that although the solar system is the galaxy where my home star is, my understanding of it is not very deep. Yashi cut open the live broadcast in the solar system, because he had already felt countless eyes following the live broadcast and looking at him. Although I couldn't see his true position, this feeling was still very bad, and the feeling of insecurity in my heart became even higher. I plan to practice hard and improve myself before going on adventures. Yang Xuanhuan, so that's it. In fact, we had a guess. We thought it was just a guess, but we never thought that the guess turned out to be a fact. ALA country, we have met several gods before. We thought we knew a lot about Blue Star. We have traveled all over the solar system, but now it seems that all our knowledge is just a drop in the bucket. No wonder Atlantis is unwilling to communicate with us. Now it understands a thing or two. This matter, although it is said to be serious, is not very serious. We should wait until the crisis is over and the solar system will return to normal. Fortunately, there is a protective shield. When I saw the fight between heaven and abyss, I was really worried that we would be defeated. I'm packing my things and planning to immigrate to the solar system from interstellar space. It's so scary. The galaxies near us have been bombed. If I had known better, I should have gone there earlier. Yashi lowered his eyes for a while, thinking about the direction of those eyes. After writing them down, he raised his head and looked at the live broadcast room with a smile. Not only here, but also in the small universe over Baidu. If you are afraid of being unsafe, it is safest to go to that place. Moreover, as long as the beings in this universe do not cause trouble after entering, their lifespan will basically be changed. Yashi said a lot later. Pangolin originally wanted to live broadcast with Yashi, but the more he stood next to him, the more awkward he felt. It suddenly discovered that it had a phobia of cameras and people, so after saying hello to Yashi, it quickly ran away from him, ran out of the camera, and then lay down on the grass to eat sugar cane. Interstellar immigration advertisement, right, thank you. I'm really moved when I call all my relatives. Let's go to Baidu together. Unnamed, what place are you talking about? Isn't the Big Dipper within the universe, the small universe? Was it a universe created by someone else? Then I advise you not to stay in that kind of place for a long time. The laws in that kind of place are incomplete and there is no way to go further. Thank you, boss. Fortunately, I couldn't think about it at first. I thought some extraterritorial inner demon was planning to die at the hands of the inner demon, so I clicked on the live broadcast room, otherwise, I might not know how he died. Take the whole family to Baidu. I still prefer the solar system, and in this universe, the most important thing is Yeshen's hometown. Whoever blows it up can't blow it up here. While the advantages and disadvantages of various immigrants were being weighed in the live broadcast room, Yeshi looked to the other side. It is the new heaven that has collapsed, and those flawless auras. There were actually a few streaks of Hongmeng purple qi in it, which made Yeshi extremely greedy. If he hadn't known that there was great danger inside, he would have rushed over. As for Tomcat, he really enjoyed picking it up inside. Yeshi also specially gave it a spotlight and fully affirmed this profiteer. Of course, he also wanted to use this profiteer to see what would happen next. Boom! Suddenly there was another loud noise between heaven and earth. It frightened many people who were discussing the matter of immigrating to the solar system. One after another, mass extinction was about to come. But fortunately, although this is indeed a mass extinction, it is not ordinary lives like them that are extinct, but all the beings who have obtained treasures and auras. This blue cat is doomed. Don't grab things that you don't want to grab. Generally, after such inexplicable benefits, they will probably want everything from you. It's okay now. Not only did I not get the treasure, but I also lost the person. I only saw. The world was filled with white light, and a sticky and crystal clear stone appeared in the center of the universe. As soon as this stone appears, it blocks the light of the entire universe, and its own light color is unusually soft. But even Yeshi stretched out his hand to block his eyes. The next second, all the auras turned into physical objects and exploded with a swish. These spiritual lights and treasures rushed towards the crystal stone that stretched from one edge of the universe to another with their masters. Because Yeshi's camera followed, the blue cat with the most treasures rushed the fastest and was almost in the front. The clusters of spiritual lights on its body scattered towards the stone. Not only did it return the spiritual lights and treasures it obtained from here, but even the treasures it had were sucked away. I said I wanted to pick up the bargains, but such a treacherous blue cat died so miserably. Fortunately, I can't leave the solar system. It looks so miserable, no wonder a mysterious boss said not to go there easily. What is this stone? Wyoming, haha, I'm not sleepy when it comes to this. Does anyone want to know? If you want to know, please PM me and I'll let you get struck by lightning with me. The most poisonous Wyoming. No, curiosity kills the cat. I don't want to know at all. This stone, haha, is the cause of the fall of the heaven. Its name is Taisu. Almost at the moment this bullet comment was sent out, the entire live broadcast room suddenly froze, and all the tools of the people watching the live broadcast began to splash out fireworks. This lasted for about 5 seconds. Everything returned to normal. And this bullet comment mysteriously disappeared. And many people lost 3 seconds of memory. What happened? Why did my computer suddenly smoke? Mine too. And this is not an electronic device. I lost my memory for a while. What about you? Me too. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yu Pian Hai. Chapter 417. Yeshi blinked his eyes. He could feel that a power from between heaven and earth, from the universe, came into his sight. These powers will not affect him, because his body and spirit are no longer a simple three-dimensional life. However, the impact of these strange powers on other people is devastating, destroying all information about those things with irresistible force. Even a small fragment of time begins to be smoothed out, and only those beings who have escaped from the lower dimensions can feel it a little bit. This time the power reacted so quickly, not only in the erasure of memory, but also in the physical world, making some beings who were not aware of those few seconds of memory feel that something was wrong. The live broadcast room suddenly became a mess. They had absolutely no idea what was going on, and those who knew were silent and did not say anything directly like that barrage. Jinmobe, what happened? I was also affected in the Dragon Temple. Where in the universe is it not affected? Maybe we know something we shouldn't know. This is a live broadcast room, and it is a live broadcast room that can be played back. After I realized that something was wrong with me, I kept pulling up the progress bar, trying to go back to that time period to see what happened. Then I found that about it's tens of thousands of barrages that have disappeared. 1,000 miles away, can you see this? I have super memory power, and I can never forget everything, even the flow of information. If you compare it, you will know what happened. Anonymous, ha 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 ha, don't know what you shouldn't know. If you are really curious, you can find me. My coordinates are B2839. Just come here and find me. Bye Chain, don't go looking for him, you will die if you do. Where's brother? Yeah, why don't you speak, brother? Yeah, please say something. Yeshi. He let go of his hand. It's better that you don't know this. Your memory has indeed been erased. What was erased was a concept, 2 words. Everything related to these 2 words has disappeared. This kind of, is not accessible now. Everyone should also know the concept of meme, and the 2 words that have been erased from your mind are probably trillions of times the concept of meme. I don't want this kind of thing. Touch. Some things, if you don't reach that level, you will die if you know it, let alone the big cause and effect involved. I wonder who is so brave and dares to say those 2 words directly. Even if you want to die, there is no such pleasure. I just tried to search for the other party along the network cable, but I couldn't find even a single fragment. This is a complete death. He said this slowly. The originally noisy live broadcast room became quiet. To be honest, they didn't understand the very Riddler-esque words. But this does not prevent them from knowing how serious the matter has become. So people who originally thought it was no big deal seem to suddenly have a brain. No way, is the matter so serious? You don't feel serious about your memory being erased? Hey, can you recall what you were doing 10 days ago, 7 days ago, 3 days ago, or even 1 day ago? At this moment, you can't recall, right? This is it. My memory has been erased all the time. Remove. You know, I originally wanted to mock the man upstairs, with a mocking smile on my face, and 180 ways to criticize him sounded in my mind, but when I saw the last sentence, originally the clown makeup that was supposed to be on his head was suddenly put on my head. It's scary to think about it, it's scary to think about it. Don't be afraid. Fear is of no use for things you can't solve. Just lie down and it's over. If you chip away at my memory, chip away at my memory. If you don't know anything, then you don't know anything. As long as I'm a waste, there will be no one can use me. Yeshi was actually surprised by Taisu's power. However, what surprised him the most was that the power that erased the concept of Taisu did not come from Taisu, but the further superposition of many different forces. It seemed that many different bosses with supreme power had combined themselves. A part of the power is superimposed on it, stacking over and over again, until finally, even the concept of Taisu can no longer appear. Yeezy, this live broadcast room of yours is too dangerous. Oh my god. Why do people dare to talk about this kind of thing? Do they want their lives? But it turned out to be this thing that destroyed heaven. It turns out that the one who responded to requests was Taisu. The pangolin seemed to suddenly understand all the things that had not been understood before, and then kept moving its mouth on one side, but not a single sound came out. Yeshi looked at the pangolin. In fact, the moment the pangolin opened his mouth, the system cut off the connection between him and the live broadcast. The current live broadcast is mainly for everyone to take a look at what happened on the side where the inspiration flashed. As for Yeshi, there is actually not much to say. So, he once again brought the topic to the war between heaven and the abyss. Do you know why the heavenly court was suddenly established, and the abyss and the heavenly court suddenly fought so fiercely? This is a good question. Now, no matter what they care about, everyone looks at Yeshi instead of discussing the things that have been erased. Yeshi spread his hands. Yeah, I want to know why too. You treat me like this, right? But you're right, the universe is destroyed. What should we do now? There won't be battlefield ruins everywhere in the future. You think too much, sometimes your memory will be wrong. Don't worry, the universe will return to normal. So why is it? Is there a big guy in the live broadcast room who can explain it? Bird of good news, is it just to destroy the universe? Boom boom. Several thunderbolts suddenly appeared in Yeshi's live broadcast room, scaring people to death. And Yeshi was really shocked. The situations in the live broadcast room before were not as many as this time. What the hell is this thunderbolt? Yeshi looked at the bird of good news with a bad face. No, it should be the crow's mouth. Why did this live broadcast room suddenly have such a dynamic? Did Thor enter the live broadcast room? Many people were puzzled by the rumbling thunder and had no idea what was going on. Only Yeshi raised his head slightly to the sky. He was really impressed by the group of talented people in his live broadcast room. It seems that it is not appropriate to broadcast live now. Yeshi suddenly realized. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Hai. Chapter 418. Even the body holding the Teishu egg now has a speechless expression. He really didn't know what happened. Or should I say? Is this good news bird telling the truth? Universe, on purpose. Just when Yeshi was thinking about what it means to engage in such a war just to destroy the universe, the system's voice rang in time. Ding, urgent reminder, please pay attention to the host. A parallel world from afar is coming. Please prepare the host. 1, 2, 3, beep, the countdown begins in 44 days. The host has been connected to the live broadcast parallel world overlapping live broadcast room. The host can freely choose whether to share this live broadcast. Please note that this choice will affect everything the host does next. Please choose the host carefully. 44. This is really an auspicious number. Why don't you say 404 or 414? Ding, that's too long. Even the countdown of 44 days also includes the time for the parallel universe to merge with this universe. Strictly speaking, there are only 3 days until the parallel universe is about to arrive. Yeshi. He instantly matched this matter with what the good news bird said. 3 days. 3 days, this is a bit too much. Are the speeds of these people infinitely enhanced? I don't believe this was not planned in advance. Although he complained like this, he still kept this matter in mind first, and then communicated with the system about the parallel world. This is the ontology. The clone still had a headache. He was thinking about how to solve what happened in front of him as soon as possible. He always felt that if the live broadcast continued, there would be thunderstorms one after another. It just so happened that the live broadcast in the universe over there had been fast-forwarded to the point where nothing could be seen clearly, and only bursts of wailing sounds from Tomcat could be heard. Of course, it was not just its wailing, but also all kinds of strange screams. Tomcat, damn, once I returned to poverty and nothing, After the white light enveloped everything, the spiritual light was swallowed up, and everything exploded. Yeshi decisively closed the other live broadcast interface, then looked at the sudden appearance of Tomcat and smiled. He felt that although his live broadcast brought many novel and different experiences, but it's finally over. What is the most important thing? It's because he wants to watch someone else's live broadcast, so he doesn't want to live broadcast it. As if pressing the fast forward button. Yeshi quickly forwarded the topic, and then clicked the button to end the live broadcast room. Okay, it's finally over. This live broadcast can be regarded as the longest I have ever used. I feel like I will use up all my live broadcast share for the next year. Yeshi watched the live broadcast screen slowly disappear and sighed. And asked the system not to remind him to go exploring in the near future. Even if I want to go, I will go after 44 days. After finishing his work impatiently, Yeshi first lay flat for a while. Then I adjusted the flow rate of this world. Now I don't need to synchronize with the outside world. I just change the time. It doesn't require more power. Yeshi felt that he could finally relax. Then, just like the pangolin mumbling to itself over there, he asked the intelligent robot to prepare some refreshments and a rice roll for himself. I just continued my fishing career. The pangolin over there muttered for a long time, not daring to say a word, but when he came back to his senses, he discovered that the live broadcast room and people have disappeared. Yezi, where are you? It was a little scared, but when it thought that this was Yeshi's own world, the fear suddenly calmed down. It's okay. Even if something happens, it will happen to Yezi first. I don't have to worry too much. Then it goes forward. He stumbled, tripped, and fell to the ground. He saw a small bronze vine. Bronze divine vine was cursing. Where did this country bumpkin come from? You haven't even seen your grandpa vine. The bronze divine vine snorted, then stretched out a vine to pat the pangolin's butt, the armor outside. Don't wander around here. Can you afford to pay compensation if you bump into the master's things? After a while, the bronze divine vine bent its noble figure, and then said to the pangolin in an extremely flattering manner, Master, please walk slowly. Its body is already covered with a dazzling array of treasures, everything is available, and it exudes a rich and earthy atmosphere. It does not look like a bronze divine vine, but rather like a cornucopia turned into a vine. Yeshi said he was fishing. In fact, he was lying there motionless. The sun still rises and sets in the whole world, there are still no fish in the sea, and Yeshi's fishing rod still has no bait. Just when he calmed down and slept on the body of the fished kun, a heartbreaking sound came from the shore. So Yeshi waved his hand. This sound was banned. This time, falling asleep is a spontaneous behavior of the body. Yeshi still slept with Teishu egg in his arms. As for the dream power, it formed a 9-color bubble and floated next to Yeshi. He felt that he was dreaming. But he didn't break free. But follow the dream deeper and deeper. And the further down, Yeshi's consciousness is actually going to the next level of dreams. I've been gone like this for who knows how long. At this point, ordinary immortals should have forgotten their consciousness, and then wandered in dreams all day, not knowing what year it was and who they were. But Yeshi's consciousness was still very strong. Because all the way down, there were two voices buzzing and arguing in his mind. Ding, host, go left, enter this dream and you will see a strange life, maybe you can get a lot of resources from it. Ding, right, Father God, right. Shut up. You are just a remnant hovering in the dream, not even a consciousness, don't come to command the great immortals, my host not only has the power of dreams. Right? Right? There is a great danger on the left, you can't go left. The dream world has been damaged in many places, Father God, you must follow me to find the dream world. The place where authority began. You were unconscious, weren't you? You are conscious again now, right? Host, use your authority to erase it, it is Pwing you. I am the consciousness that manages the dream world. I will appear when all authority is gathered. Father God, this is the system. The system is usually something that the upper or lower gods feel bored and sprinkle into the world. This humble existence is not worthy of staying in your mind, Father God, and there must be an object behind all systems that controls it. Father God, please, erase it. Ding, host, the system has discovered a major crisis, but please don't worry, the system will solve these small things. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Hai. Chapter 419. Yeshi. He only knew that he had come to a dream, it should be a dream, because Yeshi remembered that he felt that the live broadcast had been too long, so he wanted to take a rest. In order not to miss the important event of the fusion of parallel worlds while resting, he also deliberately adjusted the time flow rate of his world. But he didn't expect that he would encounter such a thing just after sleeping. What does it mean to be a child of destiny? Tactical fallback. At the beginning, Yeshi indeed felt this way, but when those two systems that made more noise than 1,000 ducks and the so-called gadgets related to the dream world appeared, his whole face fell. I don't really want to be the son of destiny, I just want to quickly solve the matter in front of me and then go back to sleep. Should I say it or not? Because of the special mechanism of the dream world, there is no way to shield these two scourges. Yeshi's head was buzzing due to the direct noise, and he could no longer control his expression. The most important thing is that when these two things quarrel, they don't care about his life or death. He even tried to break up the fight, but the two of them just focused on their quarrel and ignored Yeshi at all. The further down you go, the louder and louder the noise becomes. In the beginning, it was the system that unilaterally suppressed the dream world. Later, as we get deeper and deeper into the dream world, the awareness of managing the dream world becomes more and more perfect, and we can quarrel with the system back and forth. To this day, the system is sometimes put at a disadvantage. Yeshi could only remain silent with a headache on his face. Fortunately, the flow of time here is even less valuable, and Yeshi doesn't have to worry that it will be 10,000 years from now when he opens his eyes while sleeping. It just so happened that he was also curious about where this dream consciousness was taking him. All the way down. Yeshi can even see the abyss. But I still haven't reached the place I should go, and I don't know how many floors to go down. How many 18 levels of hell are these? Yeshi yawned helplessly. Then he let out a long sigh. You two, stop arguing. Let's see how long it will take. Isn't there a faster way? Ding, host, after testing, the system has planned a perfect and fast route for the host. As long as the host follows the route, it will reach the destination quickly. Father God, I'm afraid this system doesn't even know where its destination is. The route it planned is completely unconvincing. Moreover, there have been many dangerous things in the dream world because there has been no owner for a long time. Existence, even on a seemingly calm road, will suddenly change, so let's continue moving forward according to the route we are taking now. Yeshi. The quarrel started again. So he called for all the authorities except his own to be embodied in the dream world. Even those that had not been integrated into his body also appeared here. As soon as I take out my dream power, the entire dream world changes in an instant. Almost instantly, Yeshi took back his authority. Still not working. He said this to himself. And the two things that were quarreling or even starting to fight fell silent in an instant. When Yeshi's face turned serious, the two are no longer attacking each other like before. The safest and most convenient route, you two should plan it together. Stop the quarrel. If you continue to quarrel, I will throw you two out. Although the words are still the same, this time it is particularly useful. Because this time I could tell that Yeshi was serious. So even though they looked at each other with extreme disgust, they still cooperated with each other. Under Yeshi's urging, a convenient and safe route was created like this. Here. Yeshi couldn't help frowning as he looked at the almost endless road that was falling all the way down. This is the safest and most convenient route you planned for me. Is this a bungee jumping machine or a jumping machine? Neither of the two things spoke, but the meaning expressed was already very deep. Yes, she could only follow this route with a headache. In the dream world, there is actually a crisis every step of the way. It is filled with many dangerous existences. But the most dangerous thing is the uncertainty. Because everything here is unstable, unsafe, and has no fixed form. It may collapse after just walking for a while. Or, in a place that was originally harmless to humans and animals, abyss monsters that have lost their minds and immortals who have fallen into the devil's path appear by the way. It is precisely because of this that it is undoubtedly a foolish dream to find a safe enough road here. All this is actually due to the fragmentation of dream authority, and the consciousness of managing the dream world has begun to be lost. And now, the path pointed by the system and dream world consciousness is the only way to quickly get to the bottom. It's just that this method is more expensive. But if it takes countless time to go down layer by layer. Even though not much time had passed outside, yes, she still couldn't bear it. It seems like this is the only way to go. Yes, she had a headache. This is a world full of different colors, a collection of all colors. Different colorful 9-color bubbles float above the world. And where yes she went. It is the place with the most bubbles in the entire dream world. This is a place similar to a well. There is no life outside this well, which should be the fear of these bubbles. Each bubble will drag life into a deeper world. It doesn't matter when it's just Yeshi. Because what he wants to go to is the deepest part. Looking at the bizarre scene. Yeshi rubbed his eyebrows and finally took a brave leap. Jumped directly from this well. The person who accidentally saw the scene couldn't help but give a thumbs up. It was the first time he had seen such a method of seeking death. Hoo. Obviously there shouldn't be wind in the dream well, but yes, she just heard the feeling of wind. This wind was still pulling him desperately, keeping him going upwards. At the same time, the bubbles come one after another, pulling Yeshi down. In the pull of the two forces, Yeshi could feel that the outside of his body was being torn apart. Even though this was just a piece of consciousness, it was also reflected in his body. Both of these forces are extremely extraordinary. Fortunately, Yeshi is not an ordinary person. Although he is still a little immature now, he still resisted these forces after all. Call. The wind is still blowing. The wind was blowing from the bottom of the dream well to the top, with a bit of chill in it. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Hai. Chapter 420. In other places, perhaps the system and the dream world consciousness are fighting each other. But when Yeshi became serious, the map compiled this time is still very reliable. This is a well without edges. The surrounding area can no longer be described as smooth, but not smooth at all. It can only be said that its appearance is vertical. Because Yeshi really felt that he was falling crazily, continuing to fall. The speed is hundreds, thousands, or thousands of times faster than the speed before. This crazy falling speed made Yeshi's control of time somewhat inaccurate when he was falling. There's no need to play with the jumping machine next time. It's not as fun as the jumping machine here. We will hold a playground here in the future and invite gods and immortals to dance. How can I be allowed to enjoy such an exciting place all to myself? It's better to have fun alone than to have fun together. These words were accompanied by a long shouting sound. Why is this well so long? It's not even to the bottom yet. Yeshi really thanked the system and the whole family for their dream world awareness, otherwise why would he have pointed out such a shortcut to him? But fortunately, this almost never-ending descent has an end. Ding, here we come. Yeshi felt that his voice was about to become hoarse, and it was finally coming. Call. Yeshi rubbed his face vigorously, feeling that his face had become stiff from falling for a long time. This is an extremely chaotic world. The moment Yeshi fell, she had this feeling. This place doesn't look like the dream world I saw in the previous layers of dreams. Full of all kinds of bubbles, all kinds of dreams, all kinds of fantasy existences, and even all kinds of dangers. Neither here. But a place where the storm rages. The strong wind blows everything. Yeshi even smelled the smell of decay. Was it the smell of rotten flesh and blood? He was a little unsure and planned to take another look. However, when Yeshi finally stopped midway, he discovered that this place is indeed connected to the abyss, and even a large hole has been broken into a crystal wall. And the whistling wind and the breath of the abyss poured out from the big hole. The outside of the big hole was completely dark, making everyone who saw it not want to come into contact with the horror hidden in the darkness. In addition, a particularly beautiful bubble is in the center. And here, there is no sky or land, just a vast expanse. Father God. If you get him, you can control the entire dream world. The dream world is a world created using the power of dreams. If you, Father God, want to create something from scratch, you will need to spend a lot of energy. But now, there is no need to do this. You can just accept the entire dream world. The dreams of all lives are connected to the dream world. Even those extremely powerful beings can find their coordinates through their dreams as long as they dream. You can even kill those powerful beings through their dreams. Father God, this is the dragon and snake you have seen before. Father God, this is your authority. Dream world consciousness chirps. Yeshi lowered his head slightly, seeming to be thinking about something. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have seen what is left behind by the truly great existence. The dream world and the dream authority complement each other. The dream world connects all places in the world, and can create all dream existences. Everything in your imagination can appear. But even if some imaginary things appear, they can only survive in the dream world. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the key to the dream world. The entire dream world has been completely shattered and even polluted. Many fallen immortals are destroying the environment of the entire world. There are also forces in the abyss that are eroding the world. However, due to the other party does not have the corresponding authority, so it can only express itself in this form. It is the big hole opened in front of you, the host. Ding, host, your own abilities and dream authority are completely separate. The system does not recommend that you mix your abilities and dream authority with each other. Please note, host, the choices you make in the following events will determine your future direction. Yeshi listened to the consciousness of the system and the dream world. But he looked at everything in front of him. Completely opposite to other dream world layers covered with dream bubbles. If I could sum it up in one word, that should be empty. Empty nothing. The howling wind came from the broken entrance of the cave. Other than that, there was nothing here. If that key can be considered a thing. Yeshi felt that in fact, both the system and the dream world consciousness failed to understand what this place was. Dreams are already dreams. Everything that is reasonable is unreasonable, and everything that is unreasonable is reasonable. So Yeshi raised his hand. Just lifting it slightly, he felt a force filling his body. He suddenly realized that he could do anything. However, Yeshi quickly erased this feeling. He knew that as long as he stayed here, he could directly inherit this countless power. But there was no hesitation at all. Yeshi put his hand down directly. Then, like calling a puppy, he called the bubble in the center. Then he held him. With a rumble, the entire dream world suddenly began to change drastically. Yeshi got the key, but he was not in a hurry to check what this dream world looked like. Instead, he stepped on the void and walked towards the place where the smell of decay came from. He was a little hesitant about what he would see. and he had a sixth sense that would make him see something extremely terrifying. As long as he stepped back now, Yeshi could leave. He had already got everything here, and everything was in his hands. But Yeshi still chose to move forward. Walk to the front. Behind the pile of wind. That rotten body. Almost in an instant. Yeshi felt like Lei Gong and Dian Mu flew through his mind at the same time, and then threw their magic weapons into his mind. His whole body exploded instantly, his hair stood up. And his hair exploded. Because he saw the face of the rotten body. That is. Himself. Yeshi's pupils suddenly shrank. He did not try to close his eyes and then open them again, but stared straight at the corpse in front of him. But no matter how hard he looked, that was Yeshi's appearance and body. No. This is not me.